Stay tuned at the end of the show to learn more about the 2018 Teacher's Guide to Technology by my friend Jennifer Gonzalez. Or if you want to check it out now, go to coolcatteacher.com/guide. Now on with the show. Happy EdTech Tool Tuesday. Today on episode 257, we're learning about Google Jamboard.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Today, we're talking with Tom Mullaney. He is in the San Francisco Unified School District as a learning integration designer. Tom, you and I have talked about two technologies that you're particularly excited about with Chromebooks, Google Jamboard and Google Expeditions. Now, first of all, I have never heard of Google Jamboard. What is it?
So Google Jamboard is actually a $5,000 piece of equipment. Don't stop. Don't get worried. It comes with a free app that students can access. They could access it on their phones. It's a little bit small, but also on iPads and on Chromebooks. Chromebooks that have the Play Store enabled, which is where education Chromebooks are going. In Google Jamboard, you have this collaborative space, which doesn't sound all that exciting, but when you think about all the things you can do, you can bring in web content, you can draw perfect shapes, you can draw perfect angles, you can do all these crazy things, including having hangouts occurring in this jam. This is a great way to get your kids collaborating, and it's very, very new.
Okay, so is Jamboard, it's a piece of hardware, and this stuff is going on inside the hardware that's connecting them, or is it like something physical that you're interacting with?
Okay, so I mentioned that there's hardware because if you Google Jamboard, you're going to see this hardware. Ignore the hardware. We don't care about that. We care about the free app that lives in the iTunes Store and the Google Play Store. It's called Google Jamboard. Your kids could do this on iPads tomorrow. If they can get Google Jamboard on their iPad, they can be in there collaborating with their peers just like you would in any other Google app, but you have all this fun drawing and collaboration ability, essentially. So it's the app that we're focused on.
Okay, so your school doesn't have to own a hardware Jamboard for this to work. All you have to do is download the free app.
That's correct. The hardware you have to own is iPads if you already own them, or touchscreen Play Store enabled Chromebooks, which if you don't own them now, it's very likely your district may own them in the next year or two.
But that's kind of confusing, isn't it? But I mean, we're just talking the free app here, Google Jamboard.
Right. The free app, it's the kind of thing where they want to make money, right? They're a business. They want to make money. But you just have to dig a little deeper and get the app, and you can do all of the stuff for free.
You said that kids can interact. They can have a collaborative space. This is past what they can do in Google Docs and sharing in Google Classroom?
Yes. So in this space, you can draw. They have shape recognition, handwriting recognition, auto draw, so you can try to draw a house and then it will predict what you drew and it will give you options. Did you draw a house? Did you draw a sun, a boat, all this cool stuff? Highlight, cut things up. You can add more frames, so the space can be somewhat infinite because you can always add frames. You can also save individual frames as images or entire jams. Each file, let's say, in Google Docs, a file is called a doc. In Jamboard, a file is called a jam. So you could save each jam as a PDF. There's emojis. You can insert emojis right away. Think about how teachers could use that. They could be a collaborator in a jam, and they could start putting check marks and smiley faces next to elements of the jam they like.
Okay, so this is like the next level or the next step of Google Drawing?
It is, but let's think of it a few different ways. So Google Drawing is not, we say it's called Google Drawing, but it's not very sketch or touch friendly, and there's no mobile app for it. It's only a web app. Jamboard is very touch based, but you could use your mouse for most of its functions. It's more artistic as far as sketching or scribbling words, and you can scribble words or use the handwriting recognition. It's a lot more tactile and artistic. Think of drawings as kind of a poster board. Think of Jamboard as tactile drawing plus integrating content such as images from the web or images from your webcam or something like that.
Cool. So this is 2D, not 3D.
This is 2D, yes.
Is it easy to share with other, what do you call them, jammers?
Yes. Now, of course, this is so new that there's no Google Classroom integration yet. At the same time, once you start a jam, you click the three dots, and those three dots are you see them in a lot of Google apps. You click those three dots and you see add people. That's where you would add people. You would just type in their email address. That's where you can also connect to a meeting and make it a Google Hangout, which takes place inside the jam, which is, think about the collaboration possibilities for that, for homebound students, for guest experts that want to collaborate with your class, or vice versa. So there's so many different ways to collaborate in this space. It's really fun and new and different and exciting for sure.
So we talked a lot about Jamboard. Tom, if you had a teacher who said, I teach history, how can I use it? What would you say?
Let's say we're studying Andrew Jackson, just to throw an example out there. So what I would probably do is I would divvy up the subtopics of that for the unit amongst the class. So you guys, your 1824 election, you guys, your his Native American policy, you all bank war, and so on. And what I would do is I would say, as we go through the unit, I want each group to continue creating and putting things into their jam for that topic. So a few ways that's beneficial. If you get a new student, that new student becomes a collaborator in each of the jams, and they're caught up in a nice visual way. Also, at the end of the unit, you could have a gallery walk. Another way you could do it is you could say, all right, this group has this project, this group has that project, and then use Jamboard as the kind of storyboarding and idea generation space that the teacher is also a collaborator in, so that they can collaborate in that space in real time and give feedback.
Okay, light bulbs. So it's like sketchnoting.
If you have the Jamboard app, it's not designed for this, but I will say this. I like jotting notes on Squid or on Google Keep. I actually prefer jotting notes in Jamboard because I have a little embedded web browser where you get your web content. I can put emojis in there. I can have handwriting recognition or draw shapes in there. As a jotting sketchnoting tool, it actually is really robust and fun.
And so when you're done, you export it as a PDF and you could put it in a Google Keep, or can you also export it as a JPEG or PNG, or just a PDF?
The entire jam you can do as a PDF. So you can do it that way. And then once you have that, you could submit that as an assignment. I would say jams are kind of messy. So if I was assessing a jam, I wouldn't assess on neatness. You get messy. You just do. It's fun. It's part of the process. As far as images, it will save an individual frame of a jam. Think of that's like one slide of a Google Slides, right? It will save that one frame as an image. And that could then be brought into Google Keep, where more things can happen with it.
We've learned all about Google Jamboard today. I'm going to be playing and taking a look at this. And remember, it doesn't quite integrate with Google Classroom yet. But of course, if you can pull it out, you can pull that content in other ways. So thank you, Tom. This has been fantastic.
You're welcome.
My favorite book on technology, The Teacher's Guide to Technology 2018 version, is here from my friend Jennifer Gonzalez with over 200 education technology tools. You can learn more at coolcatteacher.com/guide. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what's in it. She has written about over 200 education technology tools, things for assessment, flipped learning, presentations, parent engagement, videos, and more. Now, in the book, you have a simple description, a screenshot, and examples of how it's used in the classroom. Because remember, it's not about the tool, it's actually about what you're trying to do. But then you can click a button and there is a video that shows how the tool works. This is a fantastic and affordable guide. Just go to coolcatteacher.com/guide and check out the 2018 Teacher's Guide to Tech by Jennifer Gonzalez.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.